Right then, here's a bait that's been around for quite a few years now, but it's still not really widely used by a lot of people. I don't know why. I don't know whether people are just scared of it or they're just happy to stick with mackerel and herring, that sort of thing. They're called Blueys, and I first came across these when I was in Norway. I was over there with the guys from Din Tour and we were having a muck about fishing, and we stuck half of one of these on a hook trying for a halibut or whatever else was down there. Caught quite a few fish on it. We left a baited hook on the deck of the boat for, well, overnight actually it was, and we went back the next morning and thought, we missed that bit. Took it off the hook, chucked it in the water, and the oil slick that came off it was unbelievable. These things are absolutely full of oil. I think they're one of the oiliest fish that you can lay your hands on, which is why they're so effective as bait. You can use them in a number of different ways, pretty much the same that you can use mackerel, herring, that sort of thing. They're very good for rays. If you want to chop one of these up for a ray bait, very simple, just behind the gill plate there, and you want to cut these into sort of 1.5 centimetre chunks like this. I'll just do a few there. It's quite a soft bait, so if you can do this while they're still sort of semi-frozen like this one is, it's going to be much more effective, because basically you'll cast it out and it will start to dissolve, if you like, in the water. I've got a 4.0 Sakuma Manta hook here. I like using these especially for rays and bass and that sort of thing, because I've got a really wide gape on them, and when you're fishing chunk baits like this, it's essential that you have a hook with a wide gape. Very simple to put on the hook. All you need to do is just go about, I don't know, 8mm down from the top. Just literally push it through like that, and that's it. That's as simple as it gets. Cast that out, that'll cast fine. As soon as the fish comes up and starts munching on it, that's it, game over, it's hooked. Like I say, very effective for rays when you present a bait like that. It's also good for bass as well, in sort of slightly dirtier water. And of course with these chunks and stuff you can start catapulting those out, using them as ground bait. But that's the first method that you can use Blueys for. I'll just get rid of these bits. The other way that I like to use Blueys is pretty much identical to the way we use mackerel, which is to whip off a fillet like this. Again, it's much easier to do when these are semi-frozen. So there's your fillet. Now you can either put that on whole, or you can sort of flapper it if you like, use it like that, just push the hook through the end here, so that leaves you a nice sort of bait with a couple of little tails that waft in the tide. But for species like turbot and brill, the best way is to cut that all the way down, like so. I guess it mimics a sand eel, especially sort of the length. That's the other good thing I've got to mention about the Blueys, is because they're a lot slimmer, or they're not as deep as mackerel. When you take a fillet off like this, like you've just seen me do, and cut it down like that, you've got two absolutely perfect turbot baits there. And again, like I do with mackerel, I push the hook through the end like so. I also like to double it over, push it back through again, so effectively you've got two hook holes in that bait. And I only do that because turbot are notorious for coming up, grabbing the bait as you're drifting along. They grab it and munch their way up it like this until they get to the hook point. Sometimes like that you can pull off and the bait will pull off. Just giving it those two hook holds really helps. And if like this is quite soft, you can put a few turns of bait elastic around the top there, that will hold it on no problem. There we go. Another use for Blueys is you can whip yourself off a little fillet like this, and obviously start at the end here, but I'm just going to start here just for ease of doing it for the video. Cut yourself some really thin strips like this. These make great tipping baits. You can use this to tip off worm, especially lugworm. It's a very good bait for tipping off lugworm. I've got a tiny little size 6 here, Sakuma Manta, which I'd love to use for species like bream. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's a great little bream bait in itself, as it is there. That's all there is to it. You know, it's very simple to do, and you'll get yourself loads and loads of little baits out of one fillet of bluey. So you're going to catch yourself a lot of fish with that. Obviously it's really good for fishing under a float for garfish, mackerel. I've even caught wrasse on this, believe it or not, during the summer months. So yeah, give that a go. Little Bluey tipping baits, well worth a shot. You'll be surprised how much oil comes out of just that tiny little bit of flesh there as well. If you get a really calm day, just chuck that in the water and you'll be amazed at the oil slick that comes off on the surface. Real great bait this is.